I actually looked for that video and I couldn't find it. So it looks like this one is going right now. I started it, but no, it should be okay now.
Cool.
I think it just cancels out the other one. Sort yourself oats.
Oats.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I can hear you perfectly at least.
Okay, good. So there's no more like crackling and shit?
No, that's all gone.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Yay.
We are live.
Yeah, we're live. Okay, so what I did was I took the liberty of pulling up the 5 traits, the 5 big personality traits.
Yeah.
Starting with extraversion. So people who rate high on extraversion. You know what is really weird, actually? I was looking at these earlier because you were talking about like placing me in these, and like some of my characteristics between the low and high score are swapped. So I wonder where that would put me on the scale in between. So, for example, people who rate high on extraversion tend to enjoy being the center of attention, like to start conversations, enjoy meeting new people, have a wide social circle of friends and acquaintances, find it easy to make new friends, feel energized when they are around other people, and say things before they think about them. People who rate low on extraversion tend to prefer solitude, feel exhausted when they have to socialize a lot, find it difficult to start conversations, dislike making small talk, carefully think things through before they speak, and dislike being the center of attention.
Yeah.
So would you say you rate high or low on extroversion? Or were you more introverted or extroverted?
That's the weird thing as well, because I feel like I'm kind of ambiverted. Like sometimes,
yeah,
I really like being the center of attention. And I can make jokes and I can be playful. But I think most of the time I'm the introverted type of guy that likes to consider what he's about to say before he speaks. And yeah, I charge my batteries much better when I'm alone and in a recluse, rather than the classical extroverted type, right? That's you can just see that he feeds upon others' energies, not in a bad way, but that's how he or she gets motivated and kind of charges. So I would say I'm mostly on the introverted side, to be honest.
Yeah, it switches for me too. Like I like my time alone. I think that's kind of a necessary thing for me to have. Like, but like you, sometimes I enjoy being the center of attention. It's not something I necessarily seek out or want all the time, but sometimes, right?
Yeah.
When you're joking around, when you're just being gregarious, whatever. But I also prefer solitude, and I also find that social interactions do drain me. It is kind of draining.
Mm-hmm. I actually placed you like high in extroversion, but I only know you like digitally in a way.
Yeah, but I feel like I would be higher on the I would be more towards the extroverted side than the introverted, for sure.
As would I, because I think it's highly correlated with the happiness as well. In general, like especially in the world we live in, where you are looked upon much, and those who like to be looked upon much, they have a tendency to be happier, and so that's what I heard, that it's correlated with happiness. But
we're naturally social beings too, right? So
yeah, that's exactly it. And extroverted people, they do tend to feel unhappy when isolated.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then the next one after that is agreeableness. Mm-hmm. This personality dimension includes attributes such as trust, altruism, kindness, affection, and other pro-social behaviors. People who are high in agreeableness tend to be more cooperative, while those low in this trait tend to be more competitive and even manipulative. People who are high in the trait of agreeableness tend to have a great deal of interest in other people, care about others, feel empathy and concern for other people, and contributing to the happiness of other people. And those who are low in this trait tend to take little interest in others, don't care about how other people feel, have little interest in other people's problems, and insult and belittle others. Yo, I think this one, I'm just like straight up agreeable.
Yeah, I think so too. I've rated you high there. But like, on the other end, I think if you're high in agreeableness, you would be the type that is not a good candidate for negotiating your salary, right?
Yeah.
Because you would be typically the one who can easily become a pushover.
But dude, I do negotiate for my salary.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So there seems to be like a multi-dimensional thing going on across each one, because I rated you high there because of that empathy stuff and
Yeah.
loyalty and self-sacrificing and but you don't seem like the type to become a pushover either. That you
Oh
will
my God,
stand
but I am.
Oh, really? Okay.
I know it doesn't seem like that, but like it happens. Sometimes you don't even notice it's happening, you know?
Right.
Yo,
Well,
it's
that's
like
true.
that thing that Jordan Peterson was talking about, where you go like a little step forward and then you like inch back, and then you go a little bit forward the next time, and then a little bit more the next time, and a little bit more the next time.
Mm-hmm.
And then like all your rights have been trampled over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how tyranny works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. I would rate myself pretty high there.
In the tyranny department?
Yeah. I'm tyrannic like a motherfucker. Well, like in terms of agreeableness.
Yeah, also high, yeah.
And they're also known to be well, that intimate relationships are very important to people that are high in agreeableness trait.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I definitely like to connect with people. Like if I'm talking to you, it's obviously because I'm going to put some kind of time into caring.
True.
Hey, what's up with your day? How's it going for you?
Yeah, me too. I'm the same way.
The doctor, like, what's up? What did you eat today?
Exactly. Like a
health
nutritionist and shit.
Yeah, exactly. All right, for the next one. I'm worried about this one. So, conscientiousness. Standard features of this dimension include high levels of thoughtfulness with good impulse control and goal-directed behaviors. Highly conscientious tend to be organized and mindful of details. Those who are high on the conscientiousness continuum also tend to spend time preparing tasks right away, pay attention to details, and enjoy having a set schedule. People who are low in this trait tend to dislike structure and schedules, make messes and not take care of things, fail to return things or put them back where they belong, procrastinate important tasks, and fail to complete the things they are supposed to do.
Yeah. You want to know what I think about you in that?
I don't know. Do I?
I think you do. I mean, because like the part of it that's about like diligence or industriousness, I think you're pretty high up there as far as I can tell in terms of you like to getting, well, I don't know how much struggle it is, but you get up early, right? And you go to work. It seems that you have a pretty structured working out plan, and you have your reading day once a week. Yeah, so you seem structured. So in terms of well, that's more of like an orderliness trait, though. But it seems like you got your shit together most of the time.
Yeah, I'm trying. I guess like once you get caught up, you don't really notice you're in a routine or a ritual. It's kind of a ritual. I think those routines are really good for human beings. Do the same shit at the same time every day. Like having a schedule helps so much because then you don't have to think about it. You're not like spending extra bandwidth on shit you don't need to spend bandwidth on. You can just focus on doing whatever you have set time aside to do.
Yeah, for all of those like you need to do type of shit that's necessary. I mean, when I do it, when I actually make lists or I use like an app on the phone where I can just slide every task that I've done during the day, it feels really satisfying to actually like shove shit out of the way that you've done.
Yeah.
And just maintaining a list, I get so much more work done in periods where I actually utilize that listing tools and scheduling tools than otherwise. So for those, I think I think I'm naturally not that high in conscientiousness. I think I have to like make myself conscientiousness with the knowledge that writing lists makes it better. It makes me do a lot more work in less time. So some people are like their default mode is in conscientiousness, I would say. like more than others.
Yeah.
Some need to actually, it's a more strainful effort for some, I guess, to actually get
But
up
I'm
there.
the same. Like, I need to write stuff down, because if I don't, I have like super ADD brain. The only thing that really keeps me focused is like if I smoke weed. Then I can actually focus on tasks and like get everything done properly. Otherwise, I'm just kind of all over the place. So when I get to work, I have to write things down. Like, what do I need to do today?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll write it down so that I know exactly what I'm doing, and then I have a good idea of how much time each thing is going to take. And then I parse my day so that like every half an hour, every 15 minutes, I take like a 5 to 7 minute break.
Wow.
Like I switch, I like read something on the internet, or I'm on the internet doing something, and then I switch back and work for another half an hour or 15 minutes or whatever. I just can't like.
Do you notify yourself to do that, or is it just like spacing out, like daydreaming?
It's just like no, it's not really spacing out. It's more like I need to switch gears. Otherwise, like I just can't run. I can't run doing the same shit for like 3 hours straight. And then I also need to get up from my desk and move around, because I hate being sedentary all day.
Okay.
Right? It just makes you so lazy and lethargic to not be moving around. Or like if I'm not keeping my brain busy, I'll just get more of that like automaticity going, right? It's just to break the spell.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Well, I think that I have a friend, right? I think I showed you like some snaps of him, like, and he's kind of he's way up high in orderliness and conscientiousness, I think. But I think he might be one place on the autism, like Asperger spectrum as well.
Oh, really?
So I think that the higher, you don't want like the massive hyper high consciousness, because I think that might tendence towards like autism, like
well, yeah, because you're talking about the extremes though, right? Of course, when you hit an extreme part of the scale, you're going to start getting some pretty wild shit.
And I think it's correlated with I think Jordan Peterson talked about this study they did in places where they found out that there was a high correlation between high conscientiousness and being sensitive to disgust. So if you're disgusted, that means because you can imagine like the typical scenario, like going into a kitchen and it's messy there and you just want to clean it up. Well, I don't get that. I don't give a fuck. I'm not high in conscientiousness, so I'm for someone else.
Oh my God.
Woman typically that belongs in the kitchen. That's another discussion though.
That sandwich will come there one day.
Yeah. But they did a study in places where, and it's also highly correlated with voting conservative.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, so they did a study on people that were sensitive to disgust, and they found a high correlation between those who were sensitive to disgust and
conscientiousness.
And voting conservatively.
Oh, right.
That was a really kicker and like a really profound testament to the hypothesis that was that conscientiousness is related to
orderliness.
Right? And voting conservative. So
oh shit! I was gonna ask you a question. I totally forgot. Damn it.
And like highly conscientious people, they seem to be, which also attests to the autism theory that they appear less adaptive when faced with unpredictable circumstances.
Oh, okay. So
the orderliness
within the emergence of chaos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's how I think of everything now. Chaos and order. Chaos and order, and consciousness is the mediator between chaos and order.
Yeah.
And you can take the slimy weasel archetype, or you can take the hero archetype.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, Simba. That's actually really crazy to think about, because he made this point in his lecture where he said, well, how come when you watch those movies, you just understand what's happening? Why do you just get what's happening?
Yeah.
And I never thought about that. I was like, whoa, I had never looked at Disney that deep, Doc.
No, right, Doc. Hey, bucko. And also, like, even kids that haven't even learned the language of the cartoon they're watching, even they seem to be able to identify the good guy from the bad guy. Like in like toddlers, it's really fascinating. Like there is this innate structure of archetypes in us.
Yeah, and the more I listen to him, the more I understand, like, I think he takes his distillation too far when he brings it to like the whole I believe in God stuff, but like when he talks about how so much of our thinking has like our religious thinking, our mythological thinking, it has been around for so long, and he explains all these examples in which the same archetypes show up in stories, and you're like, oh my God. Like I'm reading his book and he actually has passages and stuff pulled out of like the Tiamat story.
What's that?
Oh, so there's a story with, I'm not going to explain this well at all, but basically it's the archetype exists where like the son has to fight the great king or fight his mother and save the great king in order to restore order back from chaos.
Yeah. It's like a meta story, right?
Yes, exactly.
The idea of the meta story where you have those fixed characters. It's like a shape, like a molded shape that just needs to be filled with your own cultural archetypes within that, well, into that meta story that's overarching across dominance hierarchies, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. And it's always about going into the belly of the whale or into the pits of hell and saving your father. You know what I mean?
Or the virgin, and like doing so voluntarily as well. Like not waiting for the dragon to come to you, but actually going there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You got to face the basilisk.
For sure. You got to face the snake.
Harry Potter. That was cool how he described, like, what happens when the basilisk looks at you? Well, you freeze. You get petrified.
Like Medusa.
Yeah, exactly. You turn to stone.
Right, and then the phoenix enters. The phoenix being a symbol of, like, rebirth and just actually going into the flames and just discarding all of the dead wood around it and being reborn.
Yeah.
So the phoenix. I just watched that movie 2 days ago, so I remember the phoenix flying in and it cried over Harry Potter's bit wound and healed him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wasn't that great?
Yeah. But yeah, so we move to the next trait.
Oh, yeah. So the next one is neuroticism.
Yeah.
So neuroticism is a trait characterized by sadness, moodiness, and emotional instability. Individuals who are high in this trait tend to experience mood swings, anxiety, irritability, and sadness. Those low in this trait tend to be more stable and emotionally resilient. Individuals who are high in neuroticism tend to experience a lot of stress, worry about many different things, get upset easily, experience dramatic shifts in mood, or feel anxious. Those who are low in this trait are typically emotionally stable, deal well with stress, rarely feel sad or depressed, don't worry much, and are very relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say you also, I'm just going to talk about you first. I think you would be low in neuroticism. What do you think?
Well, that's like completely opposite of what like 3 psychologists have said to me.
Really? Are you high in neuroticism?
I'm really high in neuroticism.
Oh, wow.
I have an OCD condition. We could have a field day about this. Let's not dwell too much into it. But I have an OCD condition, and that's a form of neuroticism. That's a neurosis, basically.
Yes.
And where you sense, like, not constant, but very often unrest and affiliation with dark stuff and easily affected by negative stimuli. And and I think neuroticism is an interesting one, though, because it appears that even though without the neuroticism aspect, you would be high in all the others, which is mostly positive to be high in all the other 4, while being high in neuroticism is something that you don't want to be. It appears that maybe the high neuroticism can actually impede or inhibit the progress within like the other 4. It seems that it's like an overlaying veil that can suppress the good stuff from the other 4. It's just
for sure. If you're high in neuroticism, you're pretty much on the lower end of the scale for the other things, because being stressed out definitely impairs so much. It impairs so much of how your body functions when you're stressed out and your body is releasing that cortisol. It's not good. And it affects how you think about things. It affects how you're experiencing your life. It affects how you're like you're perceiving everything. Everything is fucked up by that, like you said, that veil, that lens that you're viewing life through.
Well, yeah, it's interesting because most people don't see that. People used to, like, they assume that I'm low or that I'm stressed, that I'm really chill, but it's actually like surface stuff. You learn to adapt, with masks and shit.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say, like, every time we've interacted or spoken, I've never gotten that from you. So maybe that's why. I couldn't know, right? It's hard to know from just talking like once in a while.
Yeah. Where do you consider yourself on the neuroticism spectrum?
I'm low, honestly. I mean, I have my moments, but don't we all? Generally, I'd say I'm pretty emotionally stable. I deal with stress all right. I mean, I'm getting better. I don't usually, it's very rare that I feel like sad. I don't know. I'm just really generally happy-go-lucky. I'm just happy to be alive, man.
Yeah, man. That's awesome.
Like, I think like being alive is so underrated. Like, people are so ungrateful.
Yeah.
And I think that actually really contributes to like the happy, good attitude. Be thankful for the shit that you have. If you forget, then you're just like, I have nothing. Nihilism. You don't want to fall into nihilism, buckos.
That's true. Yeah, but like.
Did I lose you? Oh,
no.
there you go.
You hear me?
I can hear you. Sorry, you just went quiet for a minute.
Okay.
I was like, crickets.
Yeah, it appears he says that, like Jordan Peterson says, that it's really rare that you find someone who is just anxious, who's just depressed, or that it's usually like a bundle of negative emotions, usually associated with neuroticism. So that's why it's helpful to have such a large term for it, like sensitivity to negative emotions. That is neuroticism. So
experience a lot of stress, worry about many different things. That's got to be the worst. Like, every single thing that happens in life, you're just worried all the time. Things work negatively against each other. Every single trait that's high on their neuroticism scale, or on the more extreme end.
Yeah.
High on neuroticism, like, gets upset easily. That's fucking stressful. Experiences dramatic shifts in mood. That in of itself is stressful.
Yeah.
Something about being high in neuroticism is stressful. And I remember being this person, you just get about what other people think. You worry about that. And then everything you do has that worry on top of it, plus whatever worry the context gives you. Like, there's just so much here. You're just worrying about every variable. Like, oh my God, what if I can't control this variable? Or what if I can't control that variable? It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, man. And
not a good place to be, man.
No. Do you remember being that for like a long time, or is it like momentarily?
No, it was for a number of years, because I think that, like, there were a number of years, like, when I didn't speak to them, and it was a very difficult relationship for a while. I think there was, like, I'm not trying to say I was like dying by saying that there was like mild trauma or something that I incurred, but like, there was definitely something, because I was depressed for a while, and over time it got better and stuff. Like, I had to acknowledge it and do stuff and like think about it. But I mean, that's the only real way to get the feelings out, right? Otherwise, it like manifests in your subconscious, and it just affects everything. It does, whether you know it or not. It's sitting there.
So you just confronted the dragon of chaos and just
pretty much.
Nice one, man.
Yeah, man, I slayed that motherfucker.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. That was the biggest dragon, I think, in my life that I had to slay. Like accepting that you're never going to talk to your parents again or your family. It's a weird one. Because it's so unnatural, right? You're not supposed to.
No, not really.
You're supposed to be like bonded to your family.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm sure we could do like a full 3 hours about neuroticism on its own, but we have one left, right?
No, I think that's it.
Open.
Oh, wait. Openness, sorry.
Yeah.
This trait features characteristics such as imagination and insight, and those high in this trait also tend to have a broad range of interests. People who are high in this trait tend to be more adventurous and creative. People low in this trait are often much more traditional and may struggle with abstract thinking. People who are high on the openness continuum are typically very creative, open to trying new things, focused on tackling new challenges, and happy to think about abstract concepts. Those who are low on this trait dislike change, do not enjoy new things, resist new ideas, not very imaginative, dislikes abstract or theoretical concepts. That'd be more conservative too, wouldn't it? Low on the openness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they seem to be like diametrically connected, openness and conscientiousness in a way. Because openness traits people are likely to vote liberal.
Yeah.
And conscientiousness like conservative. But I think like just the mere fact that, like, considering the two of us, just the mere fact that we're sitting here discussing ideas is a testament to that we're both high in openness, as in interested in ideas is one of the markers for openness and creativity. I know that you're drawing and writing and interested in expressing your ideas, which I think attests to the creativity dimension of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And and you love reading.
Okay. You make music,
love new
right?
ideas. So what's that?
You make music, so you're also creative in other ways.
Oh yeah.
And we talked about. Sorry, go ahead.
No worries. I think openness trait is. I think I'm pretty high in openness. Interested in ideas and music and science.
Yeah. Happy to think about abstract concepts.
Yeah.
I think one of the first conversations we had was about free will.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
We've been discussing that.
Yeah.
And have you changed your stance on that? Are you still like a determinist, or are you still a?
I feel like I know that I don't feel like there isn't a me there isn't a me in my brain, but like when you consider that everything, this is like exactly what Sam Harris said somewhere, if everything we are is just beholden to the laws of physics, like it doesn't make sense that there would be a separate entity from us or some other force within us. It's all us. It's just the way that we perceive that makes us think that there's a me, but there isn't really a me. And it's really fucked up because even in my experience right in this moment, I feel like there is a me. There's somebody that's talking to you, but I don't know. I really don't know where the words are coming from.
No,
I don't. Like there's a time between like when you're the front part of your brain and like your subconscious and the conscious part of your brain are communicating, and you're not aware of when it's happening in real time. You're actually aware of it like slightly after, because that thought process has to occur before you can understand what's happening.
Yeah.
So
when you begin like talking, you don't know what word you're going to finish your next, your sentence with. It's kind of like an automatic process that goes on, but the words seem to connect grammatically in the end.
Yeah.
But
anytime I talk about this, it usually ends up being a semantic argument, and people end up saying, "Well, yeah, you do have free will," which they seem to take as like the freedom to make a choice, right? Yeah. Again, because that feeling of I is an illusion, even that feeling of making a choice is an illusion.
Yeah.
But it's a little difficult to understand as well, because like change their minds. So like, is all that shit like that? Of course that shit's determined. It either is or it isn't, right?
Yeah.
It just makes my brain spin.
Yeah, but I love talking about it. It's one of the fascinating concepts, I know. And Dan Dennett talks about these degrees of
yeah, I don't know if I was actually just thinking about him, and I don't know if I like that whole like, what was it? It's something determinism.
Yeah.
Where he's saying that it's a mix of free will and determinism.
Like compatibilism.
Yeah, compatibilism. That's it.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
doesn't make sense.
know.
It feels like I'm fully on Sam Harris's side there. And when he actually called Dan Dennett out, saying that he's like Dan Dennett's reasoning kind of was like borderline theological, was kind of like with a cheeky, like kind of rude of Sam Harris. And I think Dan Dennett took slight offense.
Yeah, well, he got whiny about it, and then Sam Harris had to do a bunch of blog posts about it.
I remember.
Just eats the most shit ever. Sam Harris, from all angles, all the time. Like he's so easy to understand, and I just never understand how people just take him out of context, or he's a neocon, and he wants to drop a nuke in the Middle East, and I don't fucking know, man.
Been called like a white supremacist by Talib Kweli. Did you see that shit?
Talib Kweli, who's that?
It's a rapper. He was pretty big on like.
Oh my god! Okay, that's where I heard
Most Def and those guys. He's pretty good actually. I've seen him live and shit. He's a good rapper, but he's like fully
SJW turned.
Fully regressive, yeah, and Muslim. I think he's Muslim as well. And recently, I think Gavin McInnes and Rebel Media, they did a video about him because he lashed out against Gavin as well, calling out Gavin for like his Proud Boys.
Oh yeah, right.
And like he was called like a racist shit, basically.
Man, everybody's a racist these days. I got called a racist. Yo, man, what are you going to do? It doesn't matter. If you have an argument and you want to try and talk to these people, they're going to call you names because they don't have an actual argument.
No.
But I'm frustrated because I'm in this place where I'm like, we need to be able to talk to these people. And if we have to be the more mature ones and just kind of bite our tongues and not drop F-bombs all the time and just try and reason with them,
it's
maybe
hard, right?
something will happen. It's so hard. I just want to fucking punch.
You want to snap back properly.
Yeah, I want to clap back.
Yeah, clap back.
Like black.
I want to mansplain. I want to mansplain constantly.
I wish I could mansplain, but I don't have that privilege.
I'm sure you could mansplain with the best of us, Amy. I'm sure you could.
You're white cisgendered mansplain.
Yeah, that's the best type.
Oh my god. I don't know why people say that Sam Harris believes in reincarnation. I don't think he's ever said that.
No?
No, that was floating around for a while. Someone said that in the chat too, but I've also heard it circulating a lot. And there was a conference beyond belief where Lawrence Krauss asked him, like, do you believe in reincarnation? And I can't remember the answer he gave, but the answer he gave did not give me the impression that he believed in reincarnation, but whatever.
I haven't heard that Waking Up podcast.
No? That's not a Waking Up podcast. It's a really old conference from like 2007.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He gives this really epic speech where he like talks about why we need to give a fuck about religion. Yeah, is that the one with where they had the priest and the rabbi, and it's Lawrence Krauss and? No, that's a debate that they had. This was like a room full of smart people. Neil deGrasse Tyson was there. Okay. Sam Harris was there. Some other old physicists was there. Yeah. Krauss was there. Like there were quite a few people were there. Like names you would recognize. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think we've gone through like the big five here. Yeah. Do you know if there's any other way that they're organized, or do they just is it just a rating on each scale? Like each of the 5 traits has its separate scale that you do it the way we kind of roughly did it today. Yeah, I was about to ask you sort of the same thing. If the traits are mutually independent, or what is the degree of dependency between them? I'm not sure. I know there are a lot of tests on, oh shit,
there are tests on Facebook, on like internet that you can take.
Yeah.
And I took a couple, and you're supposed to answer like exactly what you feel and not like what you want to feel. So you need to be honest
so
again.
you have to be honest.
Definitely. And what I did, I took 2 and I compared them, and they seemed pretty similar, and they reflect the scores that we went through today. And there's also this Cambridge Analytic thing. It's like AI basically, and I'll try to send you the link. You allow that algorithm to access your Facebook data, and they analyze your temperament, your big 5 dimensions, according to your Facebook activity, like what you have liked, what you pressed liked on, what you have posted. I think they analyze the words in your post as well. It's like it's a couple of minutes process where you can see it working really hard on your data.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and then it produces the score where it grades you in all the traits, and it was like almost identical with what I've done as well when I actually took the tests themselves.
Yeah.
So the AI could, like, it knows me basically.
Oh, well, yeah, they're pretty good, those algorithms. It's weird when you see something pop up in your just YouTube, like the ads that they tailor you to. You look at something once to buy on the internet, and all of a sudden you see ads for it everywhere on Facebook, whatever. I don't really have a Facebook account anymore.
No.
But like even when I'm logged into Google,
yeah,
when I search for shit, the ads that populate are all the things that I've searched for on eBay or on Google or whatever. It's crazy, man. It makes shit a lot easier, to be honest with you. Like, especially when you're like out and you need places. And
oh yeah, there are advantages to a certain extent. But I found it kind of freaky that Cambridge algorithms was telling me that, oh, you appear to be high in neuroticism. Are you sure you're okay? Do you need to talk to someone?
Oh my God, wow.
That was kind of fucked up. But have you listened to the podcast with Tristan Harris and Sam Harris?
Who? Oh,
Tristan
no,
Harris.
I haven't.
No.
I have to catch up. I have to catch up with waking up right now.
Yeah, I recommend. That's about like what we just talked about, like choice architecture being made for you on the internet based on your online activity, basically. And they deal with some behavior analysis terms as well, so it was especially interesting.
That's crazy. They could probably get a lot of data based on what you click and search for and words you use and everything. Like you never really
to reward your clicks, how to set up ads and reward your clicks in order to increase the probability that you come back and click again. And it's crazy stuff going on. And
that is really crazy.
It's insidious as well. It's goes way past your radar, and even like
really
smart
invasive.
people think that they're no, I'm impervious to that type of shit. No one is.
Yeah, no one is. Come on now.
Yeah.
Anybody who thinks that is nuts. So I don't know. Now that I'm actually just thinking about like if they would rank any of these 5 in any particular order, it just wouldn't actually make sense, right? Because each trait has a range from one extreme to the other. So obviously most people fall like in the middle of most of those, right? Or somewhere between the 2 extremes, obviously.
Yeah, what do you mean in terms of ranking? Do you mean like what you would prefer to have to be high in?
No, I mean like in terms of the way they classify, like if they check for a specific one first for a reason, or if it's just whatever. You know, like, oh, do they check for extraversion first or agreeableness first, or is it just it doesn't matter? It's like those are just the 5 categories, and they just like rate you on the scale.
On this scenario, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, if you come to a psychiatrist, if you have like issues, I'm sure they would check for neuroticism first. And yeah, that's kind of a cool thing, because if you are high in if you're high in conscientiousness usually, and if you come into a psychiatrist with I don't know, you have anxiety, depression, that would be a good case for you. If you then control for, okay, this is a highly conscientious person, it would suit you to take like a behaviorist approach, which is to get them back into organized mode. And okay,
Just
begin
time to clean the
doing
room.
this, get a job, clean the fucking room. And, whereas if the client is, or the patient is high in openness, being a creative person, then a more Jungian approach would often be more successful, like dream interpretations and psychoanalytic approach.
Yeah.
So in clinical situations, it appears that it seems that controlling for either openness or conscientiousness is a good starting point in order to assess what type of treatment could be most prosperous.
That's interesting. The Jungian approach. Dream interpretation. That seems really crazy though, because what's happening at nighttime in your brain when you're sleeping is that your brain is actually consolidating all the things you learned in the last 24 hours, right?
Yeah, crazy shit goes on. I'm not really sure what is going on.
Yeah, I mean, we're not really, but idea of what's happening, because you hit REM sleep. You're in like you're like a half unconscious, kind of conscious, but you're not aware that you're conscious. Like the parts of your brain that are conscious, you're not aware of them.
Have you ever had a lucid dream where you were?
No, I try, and what happens is I end up wanting to control too much of the dream. Like I can't let go of it enough to fall asleep. My brain is too active.
Okay, and then you slip out.
Yeah.
I had it like once or twice, because I went through some like exercises that you needed to do even in awake condition, like on a general daily basis, in order to more likely induce the lucid dreaming. And I made it like once or twice. It's really quite cool. You can fly and shit. Like
I don't even remember my dreams on most days. It's pretty crazy, but I think that the weed has something to do with that.
Yeah.
I think because it really zaps your short-term memory.
Do you meditate at all?
I do. I do. Right now I'm just doing the 10-minute Sam Harris meditation.
Yeah, I love that one. So nice, like right after you get home from work, or
and his voice is the most soothing too.
Right.
I don't feel like he sounds pretentious in his like instructions, like some people get all like airy and fairy and they have to like make it feel like it's magic, and it's like, dude, I'm just sitting here breathing, just it's cool.
Right. And I love how it says like move your attention away from your breath. There's nothing magical about your breath, because most of the like meditation stuff that I've come across talks about breath as something like intrinsically fucking magic or spiritual.
Yeah.
But it's just another component to which you can direct your attention. So
exactly. It's just like the way when he says, just like pretty much you just have to pay attention to the contents of your consciousness. It sounds kind of weird, but if you just think about it and you just sit there and you do just kind of look at what's just popping into your brain as you're trying to sit there quietly, like it makes you recognize, okay, there's a lot more shit going on, and there's a lot more things here that I really just don't need to pay attention to. And that's most things.
Yeah.
Like there's just a lot of dumb shit.
Definitely. Like that's some neuroticism traits, that when you're too concerned about the past or the future, you can't really be present in the moment.
No.
And how it works as like a background music in your head, and you can't really notice it as it goes on. But
it becomes part of your automatic daily bullshit. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, it's like if you're in a room and you're like, your TV has that white noise shit going on and you can't turn it off. After a while, it's just going to become part of the background, but it's still there. It still has a presence.
Yeah.
It's different with thinking and feelings and that kind of stuff. You really do got to sort yourself out, bucko.
Yeah, man.
He's right, man. That message is like one of the strongest messages people need to hear. Hold yourself accountable. Don't be a whiny bitch. Like, hey, if your parents die, do you want to be the person that's fucking falling apart? No, be useful. Be useful. Yes. Yeah, man.
I love that. Like responsibility, like holding individuals accountable, holding yourself accountable, most of all.
I think the best thing that I heard him say was like, people who don't care about anything are the people who don't want to take any responsibility for anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like that's a huge thing, like being like feeling like that nihilism, that feeling of nihilism where you're just like you're disconnected from everything. You're like life's just got you down and you're just like fuck this, I don't care about anything or anyone.
Right.
It's because you really don't want to be responsible for like all the shit that comes with like having relationships with other human beings and like all the shit you have to do in your life if you want to make it better. Like it's like you're sitting there waiting for something good to happen or for something to just fall into place.
Yeah. No, you need to sort your shit out. Like
Yeah, that's it. That's such a super important message.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I love him. His lectures are really great. I can't wait to get to the Lion King one. I'm super excited for that.
There are so many, right? How many are there? Like, there's this personality thing, and there's this other biblical narrative.
Oh, the Bible series.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch it all. I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
hope I
watch it
don't
all
die,
too.
so I can just watch. Like,
It's honestly taking me quite some time to get through his book, though. It's very heavy.
yeah.
You can tell he took 10 years to write it, you know, like it's a hard book to read. It's not something that like picks up to read.
No,
Because he
I probably won't read
explains.
it. I probably will like stick to his lectures because I think so much can get lost if you don't watch him actually, because he's such an animated character on
I think
stage.
you're right,
Yeah.
actually, but I really want to read the book just to get through it. I have this thing where once I start it, I have to finish the book.
Yeah.
And I have the
That's
moral
in
landscape.
right, by the way.
Is it? Yeah, totally. It's OCD. It totally
It
is.
could be like OCD, like. No, but I understand, man. And of course, you get a much higher resolution when you read it, and you can.
But I'm like
magic
doing all of
markers.
it. Because I have a shit memory too. My memory is shit.
Okay.
So the more I absorb and the more I immerse myself in it in whatever way that I'm able to, I'll try. Because I mean, like for example, I watched Fabric of the Cosmos. It was a 4-part series that Brian Greene did, but I also read the book. One of my favorite books, Fabric of the Cosmos. And there's like an easier way for me to remember most of the stuff that was in it because I had both things to remember, help me remember the one thing, which was like a broad span of concepts in physics, right?
Right. Okay. Well, I can appreciate that approach because you have the visual aspect of it and the auditory, and you read it as well into different temporary tempo-spatial scenarios. So that seems like a good way to remember shit.
Yeah, especially if you have a bad memory.
Yeah. Do you have it though? It seems like you're good at recollecting and actually re-narrating what you have learned. Maybe because you like learn so fucking much that something has to stick, right?
There's something has to stick for real. Yeah, I guess that's how I kind of think of it, but I try to like, I don't really know how to do it. All I know is it's easier for me if I make myself more like clockwork. Like the more I adhere to a schedule, the easier things become because I can remembering things becomes relating it to other things I do regularly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I know I read this because I did this right before. Like that's how I remember things now, like by associating different things.
Right.
It's a little bit of a longer way to do it, but I have to for some shit. Like I'll put my keys down, like, and within 1 second we'll forget where I put them down, and I just put them down in front of me, like stupid shit like that.
That's relatable.
Yeah.
I do the same shit.
Yeah. So what now?
I noted. I made a note about something about openness. That was the last one we talked about. That's because it might apply to us. Because like, if you are high in openness, which I consider both of us to be, and if you don't, that's usually something that can make you feel uncomfortable in the workforce if you're not allowed to be creative. And yeah, basically, do you got any of that going on?
My workplace is pretty lenient, as like just by the way that I manage my workload, like that's pretty all over the map. I guess you can say that's a way of being creative necessarily. I'm not really restricted. It's really like I get to control my own workload and stuff. So I'm not really, it's not the kind of job that would necessarily suppress my creativity. It doesn't affect me outside of that building, which is the best thing about my job. Like some people, they have to, even when they're outside of work, they have to behave a certain way, and they like suppresses that, you know, like there's something about being yourself that's also creative too, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. It unleashes a lot of force, and it, because you use like a shitload of energy just restraining yourself, or at least I do. Like,
Yeah.
not.
No, I don't care that much.
Okay.
I'm actually, I guess immature might be the word to use, but like I work with two older men. They don't care if I drop F-bombs, and I don't often, but like there's some situations where it's just you have to use straight, direct language because we talk politics sometimes at work or whatever, and
Yeah.
you know, you don't pull punches with that kind of shit. You're either going to discuss what you believe, and that's that, and it doesn't affect the work environment in a way that like, you know, would make any sort of interactions between my boss and I or my other coworker and I uncomfortable. So no, my job's pretty chill like that. Thank goodness, because I think I'd have a really hard time if I couldn't be myself fully outside of work, I would have a fucking huge problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Do you have like one profession that you think you would do like great in? What would be like the perfect job for you?
Somewhere where I'm helping people for sure.
Yeah.
Something social probably.
You should do one of those big 5 personality tests online, because they
Yeah, I think I
actually,
should.
they don't recommend that you should. Well, they would say after the test that, okay, people who score similar to you are usually found in these type of traits.
Yeah.
So it's
No, I should find out. I should figure it out because I definitely can't decide on my own.
no.
Maybe I should just go by what science tells me.
Yeah, basically, it's not a bad idea, at least to use as a foundation or as a starting point.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. I will do that. You know what else I really want to take actually? I really want to I want to get an IQ test. I want to take an IQ test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I'm nervous about that one.
Like an online one?
No, like wherever I can get an actual IQ test.
Okay.
I think there's one where they actually do the test and it costs money, but yeah.
I think I should be. That's what the test suggested. I mean, the big 5, and I kind of relate as well that like computer science would be like a good thing, a proper thing for me.
Doesn't that seem so boring to you? Like you don't get to talk to people and stuff, or is that what you like?
I actually like it. I like crunching numbers and seeing like what does an algorithm do, what does how something manipulates an output in order to produce manipulate an input in order to produce an output. I guess that is, I'm doing the equivalent of programming in terms of behavior now, where we actually study in behavior human terms what happens to a behavior given this input, and how it also feeds upon the consequences of that behavior and that type of stuff. But I mean, being slightly introverted and open to new ideas and high in openness, it appears that computer science would be like a good trait for me. That's what some tests suggest anyway. But yeah.
So computer. Okay, sorry, computer, like IT? No, what were you saying? What was it?
Programming, basically.
Programming. See, there you go. My memory went again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy with it.
I don't know what I would be. I don't know what has been suggested to me before. I'm pretty sure I took one quite some time ago, but I can't really remember the results at this time. It's just whatever.
Yeah.
So where are you in the personality series now? You're on the one before me then.
I'm not sure. I've been watching them kind of sporadically, and I've been toggling between that one and the biblical series.
Oh, you're watching both of them.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't really have any structure in how I watch them, so I need to get that shit sorted, obviously.
Yeah, get it sorted. Clean your room.
Yeah, and
I
usually I
think
just
clean your
watch.
room is like a metaphor for clean your head. Sort your mind out.
Oh yeah, surely. I think that as well.
I feel like my room, like the amount of clutter that's in my immediate environment, like my space that I spend the most time in my house, like really says a lot about how cluttered my mind is. I don't know. I've always had that kind of weird. I've always drawn that weird connection for some reason.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people have it that way, even though they might not be aware of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, how's your apartment looking now?
It's good. I've been doing better because like usually what'll happen is, so Sunday's cleaning day, right? I do all my adulting, vacuuming, put all the clothes away, whatever. And then throughout the week, I'll leave so Monday there'll be like one piece of clothing that I left out. Tuesday, I'll add another one to that. Wednesday, so on and so forth, right? And then by the time it's Sunday, I'm like, oh, I'll clean it all up. But now I'm just trying to like do it as I go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But dishes are the bane of my existence. I don't know what I do, but I don't eat very much at home. And I somehow make so many dishes, like all my cutlery. It's like I use a spoon once and I'm like, psh, it can go in the sink. Like for tea and stuff. Like if I make tea, I'll use a spoon to stir it and then I'll just throw it in the sink instead of using one spoon just for that day to save myself doing the dishes. When I do so many dishes.
I can do the same thing. If I make myself like 2 cups of coffee, I've used 3 spoons.
Yeah. 3 spoons.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know where the third one.
Every single time?
No, it was kind of an exaggeration, but
oh my gosh, sorry. Any jokes are gonna fly over my head now. So, what do you have planned for your day now? It is what, 8 o'clock?
Yeah, it's 8:15, so I'm gonna head off to work. And I'm gonna pack because tomorrow I'm leaving for a festival, like this metal festival. Yeah.
Oh, fun! So you won't be back till like Monday?
Monday or Sunday. Yeah.
Oh, very good. That's
but
so fun.
Do this again, like more often, because I'm sure we could dive into a lot of shit here in detail and talk about
maybe what we could do is like in another week or whatever, whenever you're back, when you have time, we can do another one, and you probably won't have watched too much of the personality lectures, but you are getting through it, so maybe we can talk more about that if you want to.
Sure. Or any other stuff.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Maybe you can talk to me about your neuroticism. I'm interested to hear about that.
Yeah, that's yeah, I need to get into that mind state before we do that. But
yeah, for sure.
Cool. But what are you up to now? It's 11.
Well, it's 11:15 for me. I might chill around for a bit, and then I'm gonna go straight to bed because I'm pretty tired. I went to the gym after work and stuff, so I usually like to get in bed. Lately, I've been going to bed at like 8:30 or 9 o'clock.
Wow, that's
like
orderly,
really
man.
early.
That's proper sorted, man.
Yeah, but I can't even do anything about that. My body's just like, nope.
That's your circadian. That's how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, it works. It works good.
Cool.
Yeah.
But okay, thanks for having me on.
You're so welcome. We'll talk to you soon.
There are like really few things I'm actually willing to do before work, so consider it a compliment.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay.
Give you a big kiss.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my goodness. Well, we didn't get to talk about that much. That was kind of a short conversation. And it's too bad that the stream kind of fucked up in the beginning. I have no idea what happened there. I have no idea. What's going on, guys? What is going on? Well, I think that's it. I think I'm gassed out. Thanks, Brennan. I hope everybody had a good night. Thanks for coming out, and peace out. Big kiss. Mwah, Marino!